All right. Well, I guess this is it. There's our first official What the F Am I Doing podcast. I'm Casey O'Toole. I'm joined by producer extraordinaire Nate Lewis. And we decided to start a podcast because we felt like more people needed to hear what we had to say. May or may not be true, but hopefully somebody will join us along the line and they'll be interesting and you guys can listen to them too. So if you're here listening and it's not just us, thank you very much for being here. Thanks for checking out what we have to say, and hopefully you'll be able to join us sometime and tell us your crazy story that made you think, "What the fuck am I doing?" So we're going to cover a million different things in this pod. Our goal is to make it something that a lot of people can relate to, which means it's going to have a pretty broad scope. One of the things though that we really do want to cover is just cool and crazy stories that people find themselves in. We really think it'd be rad to find people that you'd be interested in sitting next to on a cross country flight, and when you get done with the flight, you could often think, man, that flew by, flew by, because the guy I was sitting next to had so many crazy stories. It turns out he was a rodeo clown or secret security agent for Reagan in the 80s. If you are a secret security agent and you worked for Reagan in the 80s, please call us. Do we have an email address?
Not yet. We will soon.
Man, we should have an email address.
Oh, it's a work in progress.
So first things, that reminds me, the first thing I want to do is thank Nate for putting this all together. He has been the guy behind all of this, the driving force. If we get any podcasts out at all, it is 100% because of the work and effort that he did. I've never been more excited than to hear somebody say that they wanted to take care of the behind the scenes stuff, because I am not that guy. So Nate, thank you very much, man.
Well, thank you for saying that. Appreciate it. So with that, we want to try out this little gizmo here and see if we can have our first call in.
Let's
wake somebody up.
Yeah, this is a call out.
Yeah, call out. What you doing?
Let's do a call out right now. We're going to call our good friend, Shauny Marvin, Monty Sharv. He is probably sleeping right now. Sean is a Twitch caster. Is that the word? Twitch cast? What does he do? He's on Twitch.
He's on Twitch.
He's twitchy.
He's a Twitcher.
And if you know anything about Twitchers, you know that they don't really come out when the sun's out. So since we're a couple of dads who had to get our kids off to school this morning, it is before noon. So the chances of Sean actually being awake are slim, but that's probably going to make this 1,000 times better.
So what'll even make this better is I have a knack for calling Sean when he's on the pooper.
Oh,
so if we can catch him on his morning,
his morning constitutional.
Coffee, yeah, that'd be just fantastic. Yeah. So
all right,
let's see if we can wake him up. He probably literally just went to bed.
I hope that's the case. It's been a long time since I've called him up and woke him up. Usually it was because I had to wake him up and tell him to come into work. Welcome to the pod.
Good morning.
Hey, buddy.
What do you goofballs want?
We want to talk to you. Actually, could you just say something incredibly inappropriate to start this off?
Oh man. Why?
Well, because
what's happening?
We're recording this, and the internet is forever. So let's just talk. How have your poops been?
They've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Although, I think I'm thinking of laying off on the hot stuff a little bit, because if I eat anything hot lately, it equals 2 or 3 poops down the road, and they're all water.
Really?
Yeah.
You like the hot stuff.
Oh, I love the hot stuff.
The liquid surprise.
So is that something that, is it worth it? You giving up hot stuff for not...
Oh, no. It's still worth it to eat the hot stuff.
Okay. All right. So, maybe just don't be a quitter and realize that poops are just going to get quicker now.
You're expediting the process.
Yeah. Think of it as just a big ol' thank you to the poop gods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tired of wasting time on the can? Eat hot stuff.
I do kind of like to waste time with the can too, though, because I get to do business calls and check my Facebook and stuff like that.
Last night, because I'm a multitasker. Last night Nate was texting me and I was in the shower, and so I was just texting and on Twitter whilst also showering, and
Nice.
yeah, and then I dropped my phone, like, I don't know, it vibrated probably. I had it like perched up in the corner, and and I think Nate texted me and it vibrated and it fell onto the
Nate's
floor.
fault.
Yeah, and so my shower. First up, big ups to Apple for finally having a phone that's waterproof or water resistant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because that would have been bad one phone ago. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I get done and I go into my bedroom, which is right next to the bathroom, and my wife Jen is she's like, "Man, it sounds like you dropped the soap in there. It's a good thing you're not in prison." And I couldn't even tell her that it was my phone that I dropped. I was too embarrassed. So I'm gonna put it out here on this podcast so everybody knows.
It's all slippery.
It's just a slippery, yeah. So
Caution, slippery when wet.
so good for multitasking. Speaking of which, were you sleeping?
No.
I couldn't help but notice that it took us 3 calls to get you to finally answer.
I'm actually impressed it was not more.
Yeah. Did you think there was an emergency?
I mean, I was hoping that thered be a text message at least, and I could call you back.
Oh, hold on. You want me to text you right now?
Yeah.
No,
I'm
no.
Well,
texting.
you got a text coming, dude. So
I'm texting you.
Okay.
Sean. Let's see.
What are we doing?
we're talking.
We're just talking. We're shooting it.
We're shooting
Yeah.
the poop, or in your case, squirting the poop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hot sauce. What up, hot sauce?
You said this is online and podcast. I heard 2 buzzwords.
Yeah, absolutely. We're podcasters now. Do you feel famous because you're on this with us?
Because you should.
I do.
Yeah.
I at least feel special. I feel cool.
Well,
You
first
did,
off,
you did ride the short bus.
Yeah, you've always been cool.
Oh God! Come on!
Come on, man.
I hate that. I hate
Which
it.
part? The short bus part?
Yeah.
Let's
I
not.
hated that so much.
Yeah.
It was so mean.
That you rode the short bus? First off,
Oh,
I didn't know that
text
you rode the short bus. Tell me about this.
No, I rode. So you know I live really far out.
Out in the boonies. For anybody who doesn't, for the 9 people that don't know where Sean grew up, it is out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. If you go out Umpqua, it's like literally as far as you can go, and that's like where I grew up. So, a text message.
Yeah,
Let's record a pod.
I'm a man of my word. So for the people that might be listening to this that aren't living in the southern Oregon region, we are in Roseburg, Oregon, which is right on the I-5, an hour south of Eugene, timber capital of the world, where it used to be. Johnny Cash wrote a song about it. You can listen to it. It's called Lumberjack. But that being said, Umpqua, as Sean referenced, is sort of close to Roseburg, but really not that close to Roseburg. And you got to be pretty cool to live out there. So Sean grew up hard, is what I'm trying to say.
It was rough. It was very rough.
He basically doesn't wear shoes.
They're,
Quite literally.
I
You only own like 1 pair of shoes, right? And you've had those for like the last 10 years.
I have a lot of pairs of shoes actually.
Oh,
I've got a
brag it
few.
up. Oh,
Yeah.
I got a lot of shoes.
But I don't wear any of them.
Very
I don't wear
important.
it. It's like a special occasion kind of thing.
Are they still in the box with the tissue paper in them?
What constitutes shoes being, or what constitutes special occasion? Because I have been with you in both the snow and at weddings, and I've never once saw you wear shoes in either of those situations. I've saw you ride a motorcycle with flip-flops on, slippers, sandals, thongs, whatever you want to call them.
The last time I wore shoes is when I sold that motorcycle.
Did you just sell it? Because I just saw you riding it.
Yeah, I did just sell it.
Oh, wow, that's a sad day. That motorcycle looked like the motorcycle that Tom Cruise rode in the original Top Gun.
Except it's like a couple years newer. Well, I mean, not a couple, but you know. But yeah, he is you know he rides that in the new trailer.
Yeah.
I've watched that trailer almost as many times as I've watched the original Top Gun. So yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
I love
it's
that
the same
movie.
bike, dude.
I went on a real hard like anti Tom Cruise bender for a long time because he got a little weird. And
He's still weird.
yeah. And I like just quit watching. I think the last Tom Cruise movie I watched might have been the second Mission Impossible. And so when he started jumping up and down on Oprah's couch, I was like, I'm out on this dude. He's creepy. And then when that trailer came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta watch it. I can't not watch Top Gun. And so then I figured I'm back in on Tom Cruise, and I can support the man's art, but maybe I don't have to be super down with Tom. But
But how can you say no to fighter jets?
How,
right. I mean, like Tom Cruise or don't like Tom Cruise. It's freaking jets.
I feel the need.
That scene where he's flying over the salt flats, like the beginning of it,
Yeah.
and just hits the thrusters and like straight up. Oh, I get chills watching that. But you know what? There's a part of me that like just wants to imagine like in a different dimension, different universe, that this movie, like, because he's supposed to be all badass and stuff like that. But what if he's just like, because he still has like the old jacket, he's getting a little wrinkly, he's still got the old motorcycle and stuff like that. What if he's just like a total fucking dork, like an old dork, and he's just like trying to hang out with the new kids, and he's like, "Hey guys, what's up, kids?
Right. He's like,
What you doing?"
Hustling unnecessarily in the slow motion volleyball scene on the beach with his pants on.
With his walker.
Yeah. They're
Well,
like,
they-
God,
they
lay
do-
off of the. Who's the aggro old dude? Come on.
They kind of do
Yeah.
preference that in the trailer where it's like, you could be colonel right now or admiral or something. Why are you still an instructor at Top Gun?
Yeah.
And then they leave it alone at that.
Because all my friends are.
Because I don't want
We're
to
all
grow
private.
up.
Because I'm still the fucked up fighter pilot that has daddy issues.
Because younger people are cooler. Plus,
I hope that it's this dimension that movie turns out that way, because pretty funny.
that'd be great. And I can't wait. Val Kilmer has been like talking about being in this movie for so long. He's the guy that just was pushing so hard, like, please, for the love of God, put me back in this movie. And so I mean, he's had some ups and downs. I think
He also has, yes.
yeah, didn't he? Was it throat cancer that he had, or he said he didn't have and treated it naturally or something like that? I mean, if you can do that, by the way, like, big ups to you for beating cancer without medical aid. But I can't wait to see what he looks like as Iceman in this movie. And since we know that Iceman did everything by the book, stone cold,
Ice water.
is he now an admiral? I mean, is it Admiral Iceman? I got to know these things.
I guess we're just going to have to watch the movie. And do
Oh
a
my
review.
gosh. Can we just we should just watch it and then immediately record something right afterwards where we talk about it and get our feelings, out in the open about it. There are like 1,000 other podcasts that are doing that, by the way. We'll be the 1,001st one to do
You'll
that.
be at the tippy top. You'll be at the tippy top.
Once you've listened to all those podcasts, you come to get the real story from us.
The low
What
down and
about
dirty.
what about Bill and Ted?
Bill, oh my gosh.
Oh, so are we going there? Because that's funny. You just kind of read my mind. Keanu Reeves.
Well, yeah.
And then what's this movie?
Alex Winter.
What's his name? John Wick. Has
Yeah.
anybody seen these movies?
I love John Wick.
Oh.
I'm a John Wick aficionado.
I haven't seen any of them yet.
I haven't either.
You don't have to don't feel like you need to go back and watch one before you watch 2 or 3, because the gist of it is he's a badass that can kill you with a pencil.
And he's still mad about his dog.
And he's still mad at, well, who can't relate to that? So
Oh yeah.
your
I
dead
get it.
wife gives you a dog, and oh shoot, I'm spoiler alert.
Oh no.
Yeah, now you don't have to watch the first one.
Yeah. So to recover from that,
Yeah.
spoiler, I actually got contracted by Race Services, or no, Donut Media. They had a deal with the production house that filmed John Wick, and it was like a media day, and like influencers were coming in from like all over the world, and they rented like this little chunk of an airport down in LA, and they had it all coned off, and they had all their stunt vehicles, like just the practice cars or whatever, and they were taking all the media influencers for ride-alongs and then putting them in the driver's seat and letting them try it. So I'm sitting there and I'm strapping, GoPros up to these cars, and all of a sudden I'm like, this guy goes, I know you from somewhere. And I'm like, yeah, you do look really familiar. And he's like, have you worked on this? And I'm like, no. Have you worked on that? I'm like, no. Have you worked on this? I'm like, yes, there's the connection. Next thing I know, he's like, you want to go for a ride? And I'm like, hell yeah, I do. He puts us in this 1998 Ford Mustang that's all tricked out, suspension, motor, and wheels and tires and all the fun stuff, to be able to perform these stunts. And me and this other kid, Tony, jump in the car. We're like, we want to do a 360.
That'd be sick.
And so it's this old guy. And this guy had such an impressive resume. Like, you know, in the Batman movie, the new series, the one with the Joker in it, and they're going through like the Chicago underground part, and then the semi truck flips over.
Yeah, totally.
Over the front end of itself. That's that guy. It's this old ass dude that looks like he can barely, you know, he's old and just like slow. And
they say there's no old stuntmen, but apparently they're old stunt drivers.
it was wild. Like this guy's just like casually just like, you want to do a 360? So he starts hauling ass down the runway. And then all of a sudden we get to a certain speed and he just takes his hat off, puts it under his leg, and then just, and then we were doing a 360.
I love that you just jumped in a dude's car. Some guy, rando, was like, hey, you want to jump in this car and do some tricks? And you were like, unquestioningly, yes. That's. I don't even know if it's your car or not, but we're gonna jump in this thing. I'm gonna grab my friend, and we're gonna do 360s. Not everybody would have been, you know. I would have at least questioned it, like that moment on a roller coaster where you're like, yeah, why did I do this? I hope that, you know, whoever put this together was mostly sober. Like that scary moment, that would have been me mid 360. Like, shit, there's no going back now.
Yeah, but I mean, if this guy's been in Hollywood for years,
Yeah,
and has a resume, you know, longer than the dictionary has pages, then I don't know, man. I'd stand on the hood of the car and
also sick humble brag that you were in Hollywood filming stuff. I mean, Sean and I have seen the sign on postcards.
okay,
Yeah,
now I
it's
feel a
really
little
far
arrogant.
away.
Sean, have you ever been in movies?
I have not, but I know Nate has.
Nate's been in movies. We need
Movie.
we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but one of the
I
things that
forgot
we
I
want to
told
do
you that.
with every guest that we bring on here is play Two Truths and a Lie. Have you ever played that game?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, so it's coming at some point. We might have to re-record. We'll give you a chance to kind of, you know, get yours together. Nate,
No,
and
I think this will be more fun to do it on the spot for him.
Nate and I are going to record. You know, once we're going to do Two Truths and a Lie, and then from then on, it's just every guest that we have on has to do their own.
Mm-hmm.
Parenthetical aside, I stole this from a podcast that some friends of mine do called the Beans and Rice Podcast. It's on Facebook. And
I've seen it.
Yeah,
or heard it. Both.
It's fantastic. Yeah, you can watch it on there. They're doing some cool things. So shout out those guys. Go watch Beans and Rice. Not Rice and Beans. That's a different podcast. We don't know those guys. I'm sure they're great, but they're not the guys that we're stealing this idea from.
And we'll link it in the show notes below.
Yeah, absolutely. So think about that before you know we move on to Nate telling us about the movie that he was in. Producer Nate,
Yeah.
what's the movie that you were in?
It was the management. It was our management, and it
Wait,
was
who's in it?
corny as heck.
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh,
I mean that's
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did you do any scenes with her?
Yes,
I hear she's tiny.
she is very tiny.
Wow, she's gorgeous.
She very much is.
Man, oh
And
man,
Still,
like,
forever.
well, and you know,
maybe hotter than before.
and even real life, you would think like, you know, Hollywood dolled up and everything, but she was a sweetheart. Like, you know, of course, going into it, you know, the crews are like, okay, don't talk to the actors.
Yeah, don't make eye contact.
Don't make eye contact. Don't do anything. And I'm just like, I literally was closer to her than you and I are.
Wow, that's close. If you're not watching this right now.
Yeah, we rub shoulders.
Damn. Jeez.
I feel like I'm kissing and telling right now. Sorry, Jen.
You're no gentleman.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've touched that shoulder too.
Management.
Touched it.
yeah.
My
I
gosh.
thought I was gonna go to jail, but you know, I touched the shoulder.
Well,
She was nice though. Like, I don't know. I figured she'd be in character and kind of like, yeah, I figured she'd be like, oh, you're just an extra. Piss off.
She didn't even spray you with mace or anything?
No.
Wow.
No.
She is nice.
I was a vital part of that scene.
Apparently.
Without me, my big ass face would not take up the full frame of the camera.
What was the scene that you filmed with her?
It's a bar scene where she's meeting up with some friends. It actually just happened to be filmed at my local watering hole that I used to attend to quite frequently.
Nice.
It started out with like 3-4 extras, and we're supposed to like, hey, walking into the bar, like, yay. And we cross paths, and she walks by us, and then went down to 2, then just to me, and We had a wide, medium, and a tight angle on this.
Wow, that's cameraman talk right there.
Yeah, so I walked a lot that day.
That's something else, man. You made the cut. Like
I made the cut.
They cut,
and I got paid.
Dang.
I would have just done that for free.
Are you union now?
No.
That's you didn't have to get your SAG card for that?
No.
What does SAG mean?
That's a good question. I never had to deal with it.
Sean, do you know?
I have no idea.
Oh, we need to
No
get
clue.
thoughts and info on this.
So we kind of touched base on this a little bit beforehand, but before you answered, I think it was about the second time I called you. But we were talking about how you probably were not going to be awake because you were probably up all night streaming. That's the word.
Streaming.
And yeah, so
I have to get up to
Which I
stream.
wish I wasn't. I was watching the new season of Walking Dead.
hey, can we just go back to you streaming?
I have
Let's
to get up in the middle of the night to stream a few times now. I'm getting a little bit older.
Oh,
Old guy jokes.
yeah. So how's that going? How's the stream life, bro?
It's interesting. It's fun.
Yeah. Do you want to do like a selfless plug real quick?
Nah.
Okay, I'll do it for you. You can follow him on Twitch, Huntley Games. A link in the show notes. Feel free to hit him up. Talk a lot of poop. And if Ethan shows up in the comment section, make sure you talk mad crap to that guy. It's funny.
Yeah, tons of shit to eat, man.
So what's the game you're playing right now?
I don't really have a game at the moment. I kind of playing whatever's fancy.
What's the oldest game you've ever played on there?
Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that's probably. I'm making a cup of coffee, by the way.
Ooh.
Or we're doing this. Sorry if there's some like background noise. Yeah. So probably like one of the first 10 games I've ever played in my life, probably.
I think I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah.
On
like
a computer.
Doom
Anyways.
and Wolfenstein, and then like I don't know, a handful of Atari games probably. So it's like definitely up there or whatever. But yeah, that would be the oldest game, and people actually watch me play it, if you can believe that.
And you've gotten popular too. The last time I popped in and checked you out, you were pretty happening.
Dude, so I'm an idiot. So tell me how to find you if I have how do I find what you're doing?
Twitch.tv/Huntley Games.
So I can just go to the internet. I'm gonna do this right now.
Oh yeah. Actually, you guys should watch. Are you going there right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on my phone.
All right. So if you can go to clips on your phone, it's really easy to find. It's my top clip right now.
Huntley
Games. Yeah.
Oh, see, I just put Huntley and I
You got
that
something
up.
inappropriate?
No, I got nothing.
I wish I could have did that, but the name was taken.
Yeah, well, that person needs to bail out because they have recorded nothing.
That's right. They need to fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off, fucker. Oh, speaking of which, this broadcast may have some mature conversations in it, according to your Twitch page. Is it a page? Is that what you call it? I don't know the vernacular.
Yeah, Twitch channel. I don't know.
Cool. You're famous, dude.
Hey, so here's a question that I bet you know. Going back to playing Doom.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the cheat code? Well, I guess there was probably more. There was more than one, right? There was one where it was endless lives, and then couldn't you skip to go to the last level or something like that?
I mean, yeah, there was all the weapons and ammo and God mode and et cetera, et cetera. What was the code for that? I know I have a friend that would know the answer to this right off the rip, and I can't. He'd be bummed that I don't know it because I can't think of it right now. It was in Duke Nukem. Remember that one?
No.
Yes. Older.
Yes,
I'm
okay.
old. I'm so old. Duke Nukem.
Yeah. Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem 3D. Cornholio was the password.
The great
to
Cornholio.
to be invincible in that game. I think with Doom it was just like a random something. I don't remember exactly.
So I was having this discussion the other day. we played The Sims real hard for a little while in a house that I lived in. We had a computer that was dedicated strictly to The Sims. This is so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on a like a gateway computer or something like that, and it just sat there in the corner, and we would fight to see who got to be on it. And like I bartended, so I would come home at 2 a.m. and hopefully everyone else had gone to sleep, so I could play like hours of The Sims. And
Yep.
and then we found the unlimited money cheat code, and
Yeah.
it immediately ruined the game for us. And
Yeah.
so we were talking about that the other day, like how great that game was and how much fun we had on it and how much time we wasted. And then how as soon as we got to have everything we wanted, it immediately became unbearable and pointless.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like probably the same way with God mode on Wolfenstein. It's all of a sudden you're like, the game's no longer a challenge because you've got all these things. Dude, it's just a metaphor for life, bro. That's why
It's a metaphor.
that's why I just don't want to have any money.
Huh.
Yes.
There you go, life lessons.
Beautiful.
Everything I
Yeah.
need to know about life I learned from The Sims. Shum shum, auf Wiedersehen.
That's funny.
Words to live by, right?
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Finally, knew
Whatever they
it.
mean.
If only I knew what they mean. I think it means I have to pee. So hey, listen. Part of what we're doing here with this podcast is we want to know, we want to talk to people that have weird and entertaining different jobs and things like that.
Mhm.
So first and foremost, can you and do you get paid millions of dollars to be on Twitch?
Yes.
I get money, but I wouldn't consider it a job.
So Sean makes millions of dollars on Twitch.
A month, right?
We're gonna put this on YouTube. So I've watched my kids watch enough YouTube to know that everyone there makes millions of dollars, and they
Easily.
give all their friends Teslas. So
Yeah.
so
All you have to know, they all do the same thing. They all have one thing in common. Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's me. It's your boy. It's your boy.
dude. So if you I've thought this, tweeted this probably, but if you ban the word "Hey, what's up, guys," would YouTube just cease to exist?
Yeah. Was that a tweet you did?
Thank you for that, by the way. Yes, I think it is a tweet that I did, but still
I
holds
remember that.
true.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, guys?
It's your boy.
It's your boy Sean.
Hey, you guys.
Back again with some more content.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's really crazy though how where we've come to. Like, I mean, my kids watch hours and hours of people playing video games. Like Ryder,
Yeah,
he'll watch Zebra Gamer until he falls asleep.
I'm part of the problem, Nate.
You are part. I mean, if you're
Maybe you're the solution.
you'd probably make a lot more money if you were a little bit more family oriented, and because Ryder would
Fuck
like
that.
Don't
Ryder
sell
would-
out to those fucking little kids, man.
No.
Ryder's tough enough, he knows.
Yeah, that's true.
Nate
Family
ain't,
friendly has never been a goal of mine for that thing.
Nate
Safe
ain't
space.
raising no chump.
But yeah, so he watches hours of it. His jam is Zebra Gamer and some other guy now.
Mhm.
To me, they sound the same, but they just like stream like Mario and Zelda and all the Nintendo stuff. And so
Yeah.
he sits there and watches this all day long, and the next thing you know, it's like photographic memory, and he's just like, no, you got to go here, you got to go there, you got to go this way. Boom, ching. Next thing you know, it's like, yeah, I finished the game.
It's cool, and it's like so. I've played video games for a long time, for different reasons when I was growing up as a kid. When like this stuff became popular, my first thought was, why would I watch other people play games when I could play games? That was like my first instantly. It's just like, this is stupid. I'm gonna go play games now, and do whatever, right? And then it kind of just turned into like I don't know, like the segue from there to like watching it was like, it's actually kind of, these guys are kind of entertaining, and and I love free content, free entertainment. Like, you can't really be that. It's like it's all free, which is so cool. And then and then it turns into like, hey, maybe I could do that, because I like to do things like talk to people and play video games. So maybe I'll do that. And then I also like to, cuss like a sailor too, but that's okay.
Dude, you got a lot of followers. Look at you go. By far the most followers of anybody with Huntley or Hunt in their title.
I'm destroying.
I don't want to.
I'm owning them.
Yeah, and I know you, dude. Such a big deal.
Oh.
All right, so
Whatever.
is Twitch something that like realistically you would want to do like professionally?
No, not realistically.
Would you, if you could?
I mean, if sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure I'll let people pay me to play video games. That'd be dope.
yeah. No, that yeah, like that's like that kind of the thing, right? Like it's like I would never put so much emotion and effort and time into it that it's like this is it. This is what I want to do forever. I got to play video games for the rest of my life. Like it's really not that realistic, and I'm a realistic kind of guy, right? Like I like to keep it fun and it's a hobby, and when it brings in a little bit of money, it's pretty nice.
I have Miss Pac-Man. Would you Twitch that?
I could.
That'd be sick. Dude, on this level, I'm going to get the banana.
I'm gonna
Coming
get all
soon
the
to a Twitch channel near you.
Oh.
Casey O'Toole plays Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah. Old dudes. We should just do a segment, old dudes playing video games, and it's just Donkey Kong and like just various arcade games. Pinball.
Off the old Nintendo. I have the old Nintendo, like the OG Nintendo.
Yeah. You have to blow on the cartridges.
Yeah, I mean, I think you still do, just for the sake of keeping that alive.
Is that the O behind you that we hear?
No, she's still not here. She's in Ukraine still.
What? I didn't know she was in
Sorry.
Ukraine. You're flying solo right now?
Bachelor
I've been flying solo for like the last 3 weeks.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah.
You're
Sucked.
So this is a great opportunity for you to explain a little bit more about that situation for
Yeah,
people
like,
that don't really know.
This might be the wildest story, how we met story of anybody that I know.
And like I've heard you tell me wild ass stories about that.
I mean, what do you want to know?
We want to know everything, how you and your beautiful wife met.
Well, I always say the story always starts with it's more interesting how my brother and his wife met. A lot more random. He was getting done with living in the Virgin Islands for a year, he was like basically on like a perma vacation.
The Virgin Islands?
Virgin Islands, yeah.
Okay.
His friend moved down there. His friend won tickets or money, one or the other, from the duck race, and he was like, oh, "Fuck it, I'm gonna buy a ticket and I'm gonna move to the Virgin Islands because the weather's nice there and it's still the American dollar and everybody speaks English and let's go." So he heads down there solo to go to college or whatever. And my brother's like, "That sounds like a really good idea. I need a year off too." Or, I don't think he decided it was a year, but I just need to take a break.
A gap
moved
year?
down there. Well, say again?
A gap year?
A gap year. Yeah, actually. Sure. Yeah. I can relate, actually. That's what I would call this if that was a gap year. So he goes down there for like a year. He works at like a jewelry store. He's because he has like sales experience or whatever. And so he's selling like watches and jewelry and stuff like that to tourists.
Sucker
And
tourists.
kind of just like tourists. And he actually has like some crazy stories of like running into like smacking a drug dealer's girl's ass at a bar.
Seems like a bad idea.
It ended up being an extremely bad idea. But he had his friends were with him, but it was like they got guns and stuff pulled on them, and they got followed around on the island for a while they were trying to make their clean getaway and stuff.
It's so hard to make a getaway when you're on an island.
Right.
Just go in circles
Where do
until
we go?
someone runs out of gas.
Right? Life lessons here. 1, don't smack girls on the ass. 2, if you're gonna smack girls on the ass, don't let it be a drug dealer's girlfriend.
Yeah, drug dealer named Smiley.
Yeah, those are the worst kind of drug dealers.
Yeah, he's not a Smiley.
They
guy.
didn't
He's a
get
mean
that.
guy.
Yeah, they didn't get that because they are literally smiley people.
But yeah, so he's in the Virgin Islands for a year, and then he was on his way back. And keeping in mind too, him and I, this is back in 2007. So him and I road tripped when I graduated from high school. We got in a VW van again and road tripped across the United States to the East Coast, and we like stay in DC, and stay in North Carolina, like see all my family and stuff. And then him and I parted ways, and then he gave away his van. I flew back, and then he flew down to the Virgin Islands. So then now he's like retracing his steps, and he basically like got back to the States, stayed with family for a while, and then made his way back to Oregon.
Your
But
brother
while
gave
he was-
away a Vita van?
Yeah, he did.
I bet he's regretting that now.
Yeah.
I'm regretting letting him do it. I should have. What I like.
You should have
I don't know
intervened.
what I was thinking. I should have just drove it back. I don't know why I flew back.
Because your brother gave away your car.
Well, not my car. It's his car.
Well, it could have been yours.
But
He just
like-
didn't give it to you.
Yeah.
Who did he-
I could
what-
have been mine. Yeah, you're right.
What stranger did he find that he liked better than his brother?
Well, it was just family friends or something like that. They like.
Hope
like
you
worked
save
at
some
church.
money, Sean. You're flying home. You didn't just fly yourself back. Sean's a pilot, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Man of many hats.
I don't know if I could. I don't think I'd make it like even close to a quarter of the way if I tried.
Well, not without fuel.
No.
All right, so your brother has shipped you back. He's staying with family, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah. So
later on, hot Ukrainian women.
Yep. Just like that magic.
Bing bang boom.
Amazon Prime, man. Very fast.
Oh gosh,
Next day.
only someone who is realistically married to a Ukrainian woman can say that and not. Well, you're probably gonna get beat anyway, but
That joke has never been funny to me.
it's yeah, weird how that can't be funny to you.
Right. Well, it's just like once you're married to a Ukrainian, you're like, wow. That joke, like it's not like I'm mad now. It's like that joke's just not funny. I get it now.
I don't want to jump too far ahead in the story, but I'm going to, and then we'll come back. But so Sean has married this lovely Ukrainian woman, and he decided that they were going to get married at a restaurant that I owned, and so we were going to put together this fantastic wedding. And since Olya was so far away from home, we thought it was important to have some like Ukrainian customs in the wedding, and so I looked up Ukrainian wedding customs, and the first like 9 pages on Google were related to mail order brides.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I have never been so deep into Google in my life before we finally found some actual Ukrainian wedding customs, and I think in the end we just decided to chug vodka. But
Yeah, we had vodka, and I think you said something in Russian.
I think so.
Or you wrote her name. You wrote her names, I think, in Cyrillic.
Maybe that seems like something that I would finally do. But yeah, it was a beautiful
Yeah,
wedding.
but I remember.
Sorry,
vodka.
I jumped forward too far there, but please continue.
Yeah, that's like my favorite part, Case.
Damn it! I told the favorite part story. I always ruin the good
Spoiler
stories.
Yeah, so my brother, so I've been back home for a year, and he's on his way back, and he stopped in DC, because I have a family on my mom's side that lives in DC, and he stayed with them for a little bit, and then I don't know, it's weird, coincidentally enough, because we like before he went to the Virgin Islands, we went to the East Coast to go to the beach with family, and then when he was on his way back and staying with the family in DC, while he was staying with them, they were also going to their vacation to the beach. So
Beach,
he was like, "Okay, cool, I'll go." North Carolina beach, by the way.
I'm having such a hard time keeping up with all the places we've been to in this story already.
Yeah.
The Virgin
Yeah,
Islands,
all over,
a bus.
all over the place. But yeah, and so he's staying in North Carolina, and he goes to like I think like a Dairy Queen or something like that, and he met his future wife there because she was over here on a work visa, just because just to do the thing, basically. And
Is this in
and
North
so she
Carolina
got
or the Virgin Islands?
North Carolina.
Okay,
He's been on he's on his way back. He's on his way back from Virgin Islands.
Okay.
And so yeah, they go to Dairy Queen, and she's working there, and just like I said, doing the thing, and they get to talking, and they get to the switching of the numbers, and they get to the hanging out, and then they get to the marriage, they get to the marrying,
One blizzard leads to another, and then married.
Or was it a McFlurry? No, never mind.
Fell in love to a dilly bar.
That's
I can't help but notice you like the peanut butter parfait.
that's my favorite.
What
That's
are you
my
doing
jam.
later? Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. Extra chocolate. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fight
My life
people.
changed when I realized that you could actually pay for more stuff in a Blizzard. Like,
What?
hey, welcome to the big time, buddy. You can pay them more money at Dairy Queen, and they will put more stuff in your Blizzard.
Is it reasonable?
It's incredibly reasonable. You don't even have to pay for 2 of them.
Wow, that's great. You
Game
know what?
changer.
You know what you do? You get them to put the extra stuff in, and then when they don't flip it upside down,
Oh, yep.
you
can
get
just
that shit for free.
you just drive away.
You know, I didn't know that was a thing until I moved down here.
Yeah.
Like, I watched. I went to Dairy Queen. I got my peanut butter parfait.
Uh-huh.
Kids got a Blizzard, and like I was watching the girl in front of me get her Blizzard, and the lady was so like, hey, over here, hi, over here, are you watching? Look, it's upside down. Like, I'm like, oh, what's the point of this?
What
I
is
don't get
this
it.
psycho doing? What are you? Way to live life on the edge. What are you crazy?
And then I later found out that it was it was the thing, and I've been missing that my whole entire life.
You thought that this lady was just the evil Knievel of like ice cream delivery.
I thought she had too much time on her hands for sure. And I didn't know that was kind of like the
Is it like-
standard.
You're like when you're feeding your kids in airplane style. Here it comes.
Open up.
Wow. That would be a really strange thing to see if you had no idea what the people were doing with it. Like, why are you trying to dump my food out? I'm paying for this.
I want them to do the airplane thing to me, or it's free.
Yeah.
Well,
I
the
don't
funny
do
thing
that,
about
but
the
I want-
airplane thing is watch other people do it, and then you totally realize that you probably do this too. Is like when you go in to like swoop in to get the spoon in their mouth, you open your mouth like,
Oh, absolutely.
and then yeah.
I've always thought that was just because I was trying to get my kids to open. Like, if they see me doing it, then the airplane's not gonna crash into the side of their face.
Yeah, but
Thank God my kids aren't that young anymore. Okay, so they've met at Dairy Queen.
Yep.
They've exchanged favorite Blizzards, and now they're dating.
Skylar parts ways with future wifey, and they stay in touch.
Such
and he comes
sweet
back,
sorrow.
and then I'm going to community college, and he wants to get his finish his degree because he didn't go to school when he was in the Virgin Islands. So he wants to.
It's a gap
and
year, bro.
It was a gap year. It was a gap year. And he basically just wanted to like finish up a couple of classes and get his degree. Skylar, Oksana, that's her name. They get married. Although I don't remember what came first. So basically, the way I met my wife is she's friends with Oksana, and they went to art school together. They went to college together, and she just randomly hit me up on Facebook, and she was like, Oksana's mom was like worried about Oksana, and she couldn't get a hold of her, and so she was like, Olga, you need to, this is how I imagine. I don't know if this is actually how it went down. This is just how I imagine. This was the excuse to get into my DMs.
Sure.
the mail order American hit me up on the DM.
That'd have been so great if it had gone the other direction. You're just like, you're on some website, like, looking for a wife in the Ukraine, but you just wanted to move there very badly.
Can you imagine?
I would miss you.
I would too.
If
Yeah,
you would have just
James,
been like, hey, I need to take a month off, and then disappeared and never come back, I would have been so bummed. Okay,
Felt
sorry.
like yeah, sorry. Yeah, you continue. Yeah. So she starts hitting me up, and then it was basically as simple as that. Like I didn't like, I don't know. I feel like younger me would have been just like, message her back like, hey, what's up? How you doing? What? My name's Sean. What's up? What do you like to do? And just be like annoying and stuff like that. But I think it was like in a place in my life where I was kind of like, you know what? This is like almost too good to be true. There's no way she'd be into me. I'm gonna just let this one go and see what happens.
When
let it stew for a little bit.
When we saw her, we also thought that. Just so we're sure.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
I still don't know. Like,
You
I
do.
have no idea.
You look a lot like Dave Grohl, though. Maybe she's got a thing for rock stars.
Yeah, but he cut his hair
yeah.
off though.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, the gig's over. But yeah, and
You'll always be Dave Grohl
anyway,
adjacent to me, buddy.
Same.
she's just kept talking to me, and I was like, oh man, like that's girls that just do that. They don't just start talking, especially when they live in a different country. It's not
She was
like,
just
oh yeah,
practicing English.
I mean, that was kind of part of it. Like that was kind of like the excuse, part of the excuse to talk to me was like, oh yeah, you could help me with English and we could talk about stuff. And I was like, yeah,
Sean was like,
totally.
I've got between now and her being fluent in English to seal the deal here.
Oh my
The
gosh.
clock's ticking.
Yeah, and the true defining moment where I knew I was in, because I was like trying to kind of play it cool and casual and be like, hey, I'm a realistic kind of guy, and you're a extremely hot chick from Ukraine, like I don't know if this is gonna happen or not. The defining moment was when because she's an artist, really good artist.
She is a really good artist, an amazing artist.
She started drawing pictures of me in her free time and like sending them to me, and just like pictures of like on my Facebook or whatever.
So is
But
this
she would,
like the
hand draw
Titanic
them.
scene where you're sprawled out on the couch naked?
Draw me like
Oh,
one of
yeah.
your French girls.
I'll
Oh,
never
yeah,
let
baby.
go, Sean. Sean, I'll never let go.
Case
Move
for
over,
your next
bitch.
birthday, I got an idea for you.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
For a present.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to be 43.
Oh, dude, that's it. It's crazy that you're 43, man.
No,
I
I'm
never,
40. I'm 42. I can't wait to be 43. That's my
42.
next birthday.
42. Well,
Shit,
crazy that you're 42.
We just missed it by like a week, by the way. We could have just taken care of this already, but now I got to wait like a whole. I got like 50 weeks left
Mm-hmm.
to wonder what this thing is.
The suspense is gonna kill.
It'll get better with it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, all right,
I'll have to pull some strings and stuff. It'll be a work in progress.
all right.
But yeah, anyways, she started like drawing pictures of me and stuff like that, and it's just like, wow, she's actually into me. This is great. Like I'm in. Like I just got to keep doing what I've been doing and not be a total fucking weirdo, and we're good. So easy street. And we just kept talking and talking and talking, and gosh, I don't know. Like this probably goes on for at least a year, I think, if not longer, that we're talking, and then the opportunity to go to Ukraine with my brother and sister-in-law to go see her family, the opportunity came up to go with them because they were going, and I was like, well, I could go, and then I could meet this girl, and so
Got
I
to see
did
if
that.
have you been being catfished or not.
Right, yeah, which she was a little bit shorter in person than I had expected.
Oh, you got
She's-
catfish, bro.
Good lord, man! How tall is she? She's not short.
She's not short, no, but like in the pictures, like I don't know, man, the legs in the pictures are just so long.
Oh my gosh, Sean thought he was marrying a giant.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I've never met this girl, but my assumption is she's 6'7".
I just like, I don't know, part of me just wants her to like, anyways, never mind.
So we've learned that Sean's a leg man. He's knocking me out with them Ukrainian thighs.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All
A little
right.
bit shorter.
All right.
But
She's she's only
almost,
5'7" or 5'8", whatever she is.
yeah, it's too short for me.
Golly. can barely see
so
her.
I break Casey the bad news that I gotta. Which, by the way, I tell Casey, who at this time is my manager, and I say, Casey, I gotta take a whole month off from work, and I pretty much like I feel like there's a lot of scenarios where Casey says, well, we gotta let you go then, and we'll try and rehire you when you get back. I feel like in a lot of situations, maybe not where we work, but in other places, or different employee, different manager, or whatever. I feel like looking back on it, it's like crazy that he let me go for a whole month, and that wasn't even the first time it happened either. He let me do it 2 times. But I always think about that, Casey, and I'm always like, wow, that was such a cool Casey thing to do.
Well, first off, anytime your guy gets a chance to go, meet the girl of his dreams, who says no to that? How do you stand in the way of that situation?
Yeah, you can't fuck with love.
That's right.
People that aren't cool say no to that situation.
Anybody. I mean, where else was I going to get a guy that was patient enough to be the graveyard guy for like a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah,
So, I mean, you'd more than earned your time at that point.
that's fair. I'll take that.
All right.
I'll take that.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, we take off for a month and I hang out with her and it's awesome. And then we start dating. I think July the 2nd, I think, is when we started dating. I think that's
Okay.
like when I officially like asked her out. And with obviously with no like real future plans in mind, I was just kind of like, like whatever. Like I'm here in Ukraine. Like if we're not dating, like what are we even doing? So um, then I head back and then live my life and stay in touch and stuff. And then I decide that I would like to go back again because like it's getting to the point where like I can't do the next thing, like the next step or whatever. Like I can't take the next level if I don't like go and see her again. So the following January, I think it was, I went again for another month and I said goodbye to Casey and crew. And and it was great. Everything's cool, and it's not like I hadn't like made up in my mind like, oh yeah, like this is but it was working, right? Everything was working and it was going okay. And usually long distance relationships don't really work out that way, but I don't know. This one did. And then I got back and it was like talks of like we tried to get her here, and it's like really really hard to do that if you're single and you don't own property and you don't have kids and you don't have she's a freelance artist and you just have like a hardcore job. So getting like into the States without any of those like kind of credentials is extremely hard. But we tried anyways. We tried to do the the tourist visa. They denied it instantly. And then we're pretty like sure that nothing else would work. And then she suggested that she come over on a fiance visa, and that like freaked me out. And I was like, okay, but like there was like kind of the approach we needed to like approach it. I felt like we needed to approach it like kind of at a different like mentality, like angle kind of thing, where it's like it just because we get a fiance visa doesn't mean we have to get married. Okay, like.
Well, yeah, you
The
wanted to be
goal right
surprised
now.
when you drop down on one knee.
Oh yeah, right. I mean that too, right? Like the funny thing about, I mean that's actually a really good point. The whole like thing about getting like married to somebody from out of the country, it's like everything's kind of chosen for you, how you do everything. It's kind of like all kind of pre-planned and picked out already, unless you like I don't know, unless you've been planning like a wedding and you knew that the visa was going to go through and like all this stuff. But like basically from the point that they hit American soil, you have 3 months to figure your shit out. And if you don't, and they go back without a ring, without getting married, then they're in trouble, and they're probably not going to be able to come back to the States at all after that, because it looks like they were fraudulent in
Right.
their visa application or whatever. So pretty gnarly.
No
And
pressure.
yeah,
Just
dude. Oh
figure
my
out your whole
God.
life in 3 months. Ready, set, go.
Oh, yeah. And
And you're not exactly pull the trigger guy in a lot of
no.
situations. You're not the guy that's just jumping into things blindly. And so this is a departure from the normal Sean routine.
Yeah, absolutely not my thing, and I'm not like, I don't like break under pressure, but it's like, man, I'm just not going to like make a life decision, like this. This is stupid. It's like, it's so, it's such a bad way to do things.
Well, I mean, I mentioned this earlier. You're a pilot. Like you kind of, live your life checking off boxes to make sure it's going to be
Oh yeah.
relatively
Dude,
sane idea.
compared to a lot of people that I've ever flown with, I check those boxes way harder than they do at all. Like I've flown with people who like check 2 boxes and there's like 30 left, and then we hop in the plane and go flying. I'm just like, oh my God, you fucking psycho.
Don't fly with those people, everyone.
Yeah. I mean, and
Don't.
a lot of pilots like all pilots are different. I feel like a lot of people like, you got people like me and you got people that are like kind of hot shots and don't do things by the book and
Flying by the seat of their pants.
Say again?
Flying by the seat of their pants.
Flying by the seat of their pants. Yeah.
Writing checks that their body can't cash.
Those people make me nervous.
They should. Those people are still
Yeah,
going to be flying fighter jets when they're in their 50s, not being rear admirals. That was
Can't wait.
that was a callback, by the way, in case anyone's not paying attention. We just
Yeah.
went right back to earlier
I
on.
can't wait. Full
Okay.
circle.
Okay. So
Full
so
circle.
you got 3 months to figure out the rest of your life.
Yep. And so basically we play off like the first like couple months like it's nothing. Kind of just do the Oregon stuff and like welcome to the country. And this is like the first time I've actually like lived with a girlfriend, you know, because I guess technically she's my fiance at this point, but like, you know, she's like, you know, my girlfriend.
Right.
And
Because
first time I ever had a
at this
roommate.
point you've been in the same country for a total of 2 months before she comes here, over the course of a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. all
And
right.
yeah, so everything that we've done together, it's all kind of come to this point, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like the big test, you know, like you know, I guess like it's kind of not a very big sample size, just living with each other for like a couple of months, but you know, if we can even like make it 2 months by living with each other, you know, that's a cool thing. That's a good sign, I guess, but I didn't really factor that in. Anyways, yeah, so it's that 3 months is kind of winding up here, and you know, it's like, all right, like, you know, she's pressuring me because she doesn't want to like get sent out of the country and stuff, and I'm like, don't pressure me because I don't know what to do, and she's like, yeah, but if we don't figure this out, then I'm never going to be able to see you again ever. And it's like, yeah, I get that. Okay, I get how serious it is. It's very hard. This is a hard decision for me to make. Okay, let's just, you know. And we tried. I think we tried going to the courthouse twice. Physically went there, and I bailed twice. I bailed both times. I was like,
You're Julia
you're-
Roberts in Runaway Bride twice?
wait, say it again.
You're Julia Roberts in Runaway Bride twice?
I think so.
Wow.
Kind of.
Yeah. Olga's your Richard Gere. It's a good thing she finally.
my
It's a good thing she finally
God.
ran you down.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie, but that's like when she's like she's like a sex worker, right? In that movie?
No, no.
No?
No, that one was slightly before. That one was Pretty Woman, where she is in fact a sex
dang it.
worker. This one is a movie where she just she's like a serial wedding leaver. She keeps getting like she gets engaged, she gets to the altar, she gets like, and then she runs off. And she's done this so many times. If I remember correctly, it's been a few years. My knowledge of rom-coms is not great, but she I think Richard Gere is potentially writing a story about her and how she keeps bailing on these guys, and then of course they fall in love, and he chases her down on horseback, and they
Oh,
get married.
romantic.
I think that's how it goes. Yeah. So anyway,
Well-
she chases you down on horseback across the courtyard at the courthouse, and
Yeah.
and here
Twice.
we are twice.
Twice, yeah. 2 times I just go, nope. You know, there's still time. I still have time. You know, we don't have to make this decision yet. We got like another, you know, week. to just,
I'll know better in 96 hours, I swear.
oh yeah, so rough, man. And I'm also like, you know, I'm not one to jump into things, but I'm also like, I guess like by connection, I'm also a huge procrastinator. So
Yes.
this kind of fell into that a little bit.
Everyone here who knows you is shaking their head yes, by the way.
Yeah, guilty. Yeah. So, I'm in like panic mode, right? And then a voice came to me in my head, and I remembered a conversation that Casey and you and I had, Casey, at work.
Oh my gosh.
I remember a conversation that we had, and you said to me something along the lines of, "I'll marry you," and I was like, "That's it. That's the fucking answer. That's what I need. That's like, seriously, like I went from like shitting my pants to like, dude, let's just get Casey to marry us. That's like, my friend's doing it. It's like super unofficial. friends are gonna be there, you know, like, but you know what I mean? Not like it's official, but like it's not like that whole, you know, like a fucking weird stinky ass old courthouse with the judge and, you know,
Yeah.
just super stiff and like weird and stuff. And
You just need a friendly face up there reassuring people that everything was going to be okay.
And not to mention that everyone was armed with tasers, so if you tried to run, you were.
Yeah. That was actually why we did shots of vodka beforehand. It was to slow you down. He's got to run up some stairs, so let's get him some liquor.
And the so we got married on the 27th. So we had what? How many days are there in December? 31?
I think so.
30? Yeah. So we had like 3 or 4 more days left before she had to go, and which by the way, I don't know if you know this, Casey. I don't know if I don't really tell this part of the story very much because it's not like very happy. But there was a point in time before we reached this moment where I had purchased tickets to Ukraine, or tickets. I purchased
Wow. A ticket. That's the saddest thing ever.
Yeah, it's not my favorite part of the story, but like it kind of it boiled down to a point where I had bought a ticket because we couldn't. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't remember like the state of things at that time, but like it just I was just ready to bail. I was fucking ready to bail, and I felt bad that she had kind of put everything into this, and so I at least purchased the ticket, and I think I plan on like reimbursing for the tickets that she paid money to get over here, and stuff like that. And then we got in the car and drove to Portland, and I dropped her off at my brother's house, which they weren't super stoked on actually, but they did say that if they could help in any way that they would, because they knew that we were kind of trying to figure stuff out. And I was like, all right, well, that you guys said that, and I really need your help right now because I don't know, like I need just the me time to think about this, and so
was that like a breakup situation, or were you just needed?
Yeah, no, it really was. I mean, like you buy a ticket, and that's really it. Like I said, like if we didn't figure this out, I would never see her again,
Yeah.
So that was kind of the end of the deal, and like the drive up there was really sad. I was trying to be like kind of set in my decision, and I wasn't trying to like flake and stuff. Like I had to have made a decision, by this point, and I thought I had. And it was a very sad drive up, and I dropped her off, and she stayed there for a couple days. But like I made the decision before I had left and said goodbye to her up there that I was going to go back home and refund the tickets. But like, she still stayed up there though, just because it was like I said, I needed some me time.
So this was all this was just the big, like, you in the movie, when they make this movie, this is you going back up there and like throwing pebbles at her window, at your brother's window, to get her to open it, and you being down on one knee with flowers and doves and things like that, and the big surprise, will you marry me?
Kind of, I guess.
God,
I don't know.
You romantic son of a bitch. This whole time I didn't think that was the case, but now I know.
If they did make a movie out of this, it would have to be like that, because the way it really happened is kind of just like kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer. But
so for those of you that are listening to this story going, what the hell, this like, you guys have been now married for years. Like, we're well into this is not a new thing that's happened. How many years have you guys been married?
It will be 6 years this December.
And like, best decision you ever made? Drive back up there.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
See, sometimes you do the right thing, Sean Marvin. You're a good guy.
Yeah. To connect the dots, like we fixed everything. Casey was cool enough to get us hitched. Got married at the restaurant, and yeah, and like since then, like it go figure. Once you're like really not stressed out, everything's great. Like once you stop stressing out, then you realize a lot of things. And I think that actually probably applies to a lot of relationships. Think about it.
Yeah, you gotta say fuck it and just go with it sometimes.
Yeah.
People are at their worst when they're stressed out, I think, honestly. Like they say things that they don't mean, or they do things that they don't want to do, or they make mistakes.
Yeah, it really brings the ugly out of people, for sure.
Irritable. Yeah, and honestly, since we've gotten married, I've had absolutely no regrets. I think I can think of one time when we like maybe had like a minor spat. But like other than that, that's it. It's been super cool. And like I've been in relationships before where you know, I mean, well, they sucked. Obviously, that's why they don't exist anymore. But I've been in relationships where it's like, you know, I don't know, it just not as cool. You know, lots of relations. None of the relationships I've ever been before have ever been nearly as cool as this one. You know, there's always something weird or something. You know,
Maybe
just never had any issues. It's weird. It's
you
weird.
know, I think that's dating wise or whatever. They don't have to necessarily suck for them to end, right? Like they're just not super rad. And what you guys have is beyond super rad. I mean, you guys have got this crazy life that you've built together, and she continues to do art, and you are ruling the internet, and and what a I mean, she's a citizen now
Yeah.
of these United States, and has a driver's
cool. That was
license.
actually a really cool moment, by the way.
So I mean, yeah, let's talk about that. Some of the things that she's done since you guys have got married and all that kind of thing.
Shoot, I think since she got her license, she probably hasn't been home since.
Yeah, she just drove straight, got the hell right out of here.
Yeah, she
My favorite text message, which is so funny. This is one of my favorite text messages that I get, and I get it all the time. Okay. Anytime, because I don't leave the house anymore,
No.
unless it's to go have some fun with friends. And other than that, I'm kind of just an indoor kind of guy. But it's really funny because when Olga goes, she literally goes to Michael's all the time. She goes to
Local craft store, by the way. Well,
yeah,
I guess it's
yeah,
a chain.
well,
It's not local. It's but they're really worldwide. What do I know?
yeah, probably a chain. I don't actually really have no idea. She goes there all the time to get art stuff, or she goes to Fred's to get stuff or whatever. And I always get the text message, "Oh, we were trying to get your attention while you're driving, or saw you driving, or we were following you for a while, trying to get your attention."
I'm
it turns
guilty of
out
that
it wasn't
message a
you, it was
lot.
Olga driving. It's weird because I feel like I get this text message every time she leaves. I don't know what it is. It's she'll come back and I'm like, "Oh yeah, so Kara saw you driving," and it's yeah, I got people everywhere watching you.
Yeah.
Your every move.
Or maybe we just live in a tiny town. Maybe lesson here is that we should just all be looking for O and waving at her, and then if we see you, then happy surprise.
Yeah, you're kind of old news now, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, things that since we've gotten married, she's been doing art. She does literally anything and everything.
And she's got art all over the in some crazy places. She's not just local artist lady.
Yeah, she sends her art everywhere, to exhibits and stuff like that. But that's not it's not as cool as it sounds, I guess.
Oh, it's as cool as it sounds.
Yeah, it is as cool as it sounds. And
Well-
what's her primarily way for people to see this is what, Facebook?
Right now the new hotness is Instagram.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, she's rad on Instagram. I love the videos.
Yeah, go ahead and shout that out so people can go see her.
It's what is it? Olga Lady Art? Olga dot Lady Art on Instagram?
Olga Lady Art.
Yeah, Olga Lady Art.
And then Facebook is the same thing as well.
Yeah, should be. All of her stuff, everything that she makes is for sale. If you ever want to buy it, you can buy it. Most of the stuff is posted on Saatchi Art, which is, I don't really know how to spell that, but it's SAA Chi or something like that.
It's
SAA.
I got it right here in front of me. I'll run through this, and we'll link this stuff too. So it's Saatchi Art. It's SAATCHIART.com/Olga Lady Art. Go there, find stuff, buy things, be one of the. Holy cow, dude! She's got so many followers. It's embarrassing that I mean, wow, that's cool.
On Insta.
Yeah. She's 53,000 followers.
Dude, if you look at some of her recent videos, a lot of her videos, they've been getting shared a lot on different bigger art accounts and stuff. Let me see.
So just, I mean, I watch her videos all the time on Insta, and it's rad because what she does is it's a lot of 3D stuff that she does with an X-Acto knife, and so it's painstaking. It takes a long time. It's something that realistically she could probably do with a computer if she wanted to, but she does it all by hand, and it looks amazing. I mean, she was kind enough to give me some of her art, and it's one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. But if you watch that
Yeah.
stuff on Insta, dude, she does the time lapse of it all, and it's just, dude, it's fun to watch. So
It really is, and she makes it look so easy.
She definitely has a process. She a lot of. I mean, she pumps these things out pretty quick. She's got it pretty dialed out. Like it's really funny because like my apartment right now, since she's been gone for three weeks, it's like probably the cleanest it's ever been in a long time.
That I can imagine.
Yeah, because usually there's just little pieces of paper everywhere, like stuck to the bottom of my feet, stuck to my butt when I sit down, you know, like in the bed, everywhere.
You should talk her into coming on the show. I bet she would have some, like, from her perspective of coming from the Ukraine.
She could tell some really like. So one of the most interesting things that like I think is interesting about her and like really unique. Have you guys watched that new show? It's not really, maybe it's not really new anymore. It's like a mini series, Chernobyl.
yeah, I haven't watched it, but I'm familiar with the content.
It seemed like to me most of the events in that were pretty on point and it's really interesting. It's very very interesting, and like especially since like that technology is really like not it's not like common knowledge like how it works and how it affects people and health wise and stuff like that and like what it does. Anyways, watching that show though was really interesting, but it's also like really sad because so Olga, you guys are familiar with Pripyat, yeah?
Nope.
Okay, so
I'm a fool.
Pripyat,
You gotta explain like I'm 5.
Okay, so Pripyat is a new city that's born next to Chernobyl. I think, well, no, I think Chernobyl came after Pripyat. I'm not really sure on that, but it's like it's a booming new city. Like the age group there is like 20 to early 30s.
Wow.
Everybody there is they're there. It's a awesome, beautiful new city. There's opportunity, there's potential for lots of things. So everybody's moving there. I think Chernobyl, became a thing after Pripyat was a city or whatever. But either way, like Pripyat had only been a city, I think, for about 14, 15 years or something like that before the Chernobyl accident. Which Chernobyl's like, I don't know, it's probably like what 10, 15 miles away from Pripyat, I think. Olga's family lived there.
So that's just doing a little research. Pripyat is a nuclear city, right? So just
you don't go there now.
Yeah.
You don't go there.
Yeah. Okay.
Her dad, her mom, and her brother, and she wasn't born yet. She was actually in her mom's tummy at the time when this happened. Her parents didn't work at Chernobyl, but she had an uncle that worked there who died during the accident. He was one of the people that got sent to Kiev, I think, for health treatment.
Wow.
It's insane. Like anybody that was even close to that, and the people that they sent to like the emergency crews and stuff that they sent to that accident, like man, the stuff that happened to them afterwards, like I mean, none of them like lived. It seemed, I think, like more than like a week or something like that.
And you got to know, like in that situation, you're going in to die, but you're kind of doing it for the greater good.
I don't think a lot of them really knew, because the technology at that time was kind of a new thing, newer, and so like firefighters that are going in to put out a fire, like they just think they're putting out a fire, right? And then they walk out and their skin's like all sunburnt,
Yeah,
and they're getting super sick, and they're like, "What's happening?" And it's like, "Oh, it's the radiation,
So I was 9 when this happened, and so I remember this on the news and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're kind of coming out of the Cold War in that time, and everyone that I knew was super scared of nukes. Right. I mean, I remember there's,
oh yeah,
there were things around here for power, and people were always like, trying to get people to boycott them and that kind of thing, because people were just so scared of something like that happening. So, I would think potentially that these people did know what they were getting into, and maybe even were, even more scared of it than they would be now, knowing a little bit more about it. I mean, it's just, gosh, nuclear stuff has always just been, just a scary thing, man.
There's a ton of stigma that surrounds it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you get radioactive, you're gonna turn into a mutant monster.
Yeah, I mean,
or something like that. Yeah. So it's just it's a really crazy story because that's like that Chernobyl actually like really affected the whole entire timeline of Olga's family, which is like it affected tons and tons of people. And they lived in Pripyat. They lived right next door when it happened, and they got kicked out of Pripyat. They got moved to Chernigov by the government, I think. They had a bunch of the high-rise apartments. I think the government actually built a lot of high-rise apartments in Kiev and Chernigov to house the people of Pripyat. I believe is where all those, because you see like the high-rise apartments everywhere, and I think it's kind of like a result of that.
yeah. I mean, so there were 50,000 people in this town, and then in one afternoon, April 27th, so the day after the Chernobyl disaster in '86, they evacuated the whole damn town. So
Yep.
that's wild.
Yep. And then they all got exposed to radiation pretty bad. Fortunately, though, her parents are still alive, which is great. So, but a lot of people, I think, just being in that area, I mean, even being far away from there, like radiation travels a long time, and it just takes a, nice breeze to just carry radiation over and, whatever direction. And it's like, I think my dad said that they actually prepared over here. They were waiting for the radioactive cloud to come over like this way or something like that. And they went and like prepared like fresh water and things like that, just in case.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Very, very crazy. Yeah. Anyways, that's kind of like her story. I think about it and I think about her and her family and stuff like that. And really, really interesting. The whole thing is so sad, especially after watching the show. I didn't realize how crazy and sad it really was. And like, and like maybe not everybody, knew what was involved with like when they were involved with trying to put a bandage on that, because that's like what they did, because it's like, how do you clean up radiation? It's not that easy.
Right. Just fast forward 30 years, and then we let all of the Instagram influencers go in there and take care of it for us.
All the YouTubers.
Just yeah.
Hey YouTube, what's up? It's your boy. We're out here cleaning up some graphite. I got my shovel and I got my little rat suit. Let's do this. Yeah.
All right. Hey, at the end of the episode, we're going to give away a Prius and also 3 Teslas to.
So, real quick question, or not a real quick question, but question to go back to the beginning of this whole thing. What is duck racing?
Yeah, absolutely. We need to clear this up.
Like, are we talking like actually like quack quack ducks, like swimming after?
Do we need to get the Humane Society involved here? Your brother is illegally racing ducks.
Yeah, is this like
to win tickets to the Virgin Islands?
All right, no, that's nonsense. The duck races.
I mean, I know what the duck races are.
I honestly don't.
Okay.
You and I grew up in this small town.
I apologize. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. They So I've never actually partaken in it. I don't actually really understand the duck races myself entirely, but like they like that big. You ever see that big inflatable duck anywhere with the sunglasses on?
All right. So that's what it is. It's rubber. It's a rubber ducky, right? And they've made the one he's talking about. They have a great big giant inflatable that kind of rolls around town sometimes. I think someone stole it once.
I've been inside of it.
Did you really?
Yeah, when they parked it out in front of Dutch Bros, I climbed inside at night.
You find yourself in the strangest positions in this world, neck deep in a duck's ass.
That's right.
Yeah, so then they have a race where they dump all of these rubber ducks into the river, right? And whoever's duck wins, everyone's there's numbers on each one of them, right? Is that how this goes? And then whoever's duck wins wins a car or apparently tickets to the Virgin Islands.
That's it. You buy tickets. It's like to buy a duck or whatever costs money.
So it's not just a Roseburg centric thing either. By the way, I was in Whistler, BC one time, and they were doing the duck race. It's a fundraiser for like the United Way or something like that. I'm probably completely wrong about that, but it's a fundraiser for something. And
okay.
And so we were in Whistler, and they were doing their version of the duck race, but on a much smaller scale because Whistler's a village, and they have a creek that runs through it. So they threw 1,000 little rubber duckies into this creek, and it crept down through the thing. So they'd have a big mighty river like we have.
I was always like concerned like how they got all the ducks out of the river.
Yeah, they have volunteers out there with it, just kind of stand out there and bag them up as they come down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't just let them float out into the ocean.
No, I would hope not. Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, whales would be swallowing these rubber ducks.
Oh, yeah. They know exactly who the culprits were.
Have you seen? There's a freighter that dropped some freight spilled off of the ship years and years ago, and it was a like thing of rubber ducks, and they've gone like around the world, and they use them to track ocean currents.
Oh gosh, I think I have heard of that. Dude, they're doing a lot of really interesting things in the ocean right now.
They really are.
Dumping
With,
massive
like,
amounts of plastic in it and all kinds of stuff. Sorry.
Well, I mean, there's that, but like with the cleanup stuff, which I bet you they're probably catching some of those ducks too.
It's bringing them home. Bring the ducks home.
Yeah, I'm not like super. I haven't really looked into it too much, but you keep seeing this stuff like on social media every once in a while, like somebody come up with a new like plan or new project or something like that for scooping all the plastic up out of the ocean, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of cool activity in that area.
So in 1992 is when 28,000 rubber ducks went over the side of a boat on its way to Hong Kong from the U.S. and they've been tracking these ducks ever since. They found them frozen in Arctic ice. They found them in Scotland. They found them in Hawaii, Alaska, South America, Australia. And they're known as the friendly floaties to the researchers who track their progress now. Have you guys ever had El Pato? El Pato is my new favorite hot sauce. It's not that hot, but yeah, El Pato, the duck. It's a green sauce, and it's delightful. So, I mean, no free ads, but this is a free ad. Go get some El Pato. You'll probably poop normally after you have it. It's not that hot. So that should actually be on the label. You'll probably poop normally.
Speaking of like favorite hot sauce, can we all just agree that Tabasco is just absolutely terrible on anything and everything?
I don't know if I can go that. I kind of like Tabasco if in a pinch. It's not my favorite, but you know, it's there for you.
Too watery.
It's the Toyota Corolla of hot sauces. Like, it's probably not the one you want to drive, but it's definitely there for you if you need it. It's going to get you from point A to point B.
It gets good gas.
That was my first car. I understand entirely.
Yeah, so
I know exactly what you mean.
There you go.
I just Tabasco, man. Like, to me, I mean, not to elaborate too much into, it's just Tabasco, but it's just too watery. It waters, like you put it on eggs, it makes your eggs all watery.
Well, valid. I actually like the green Tabasco the best.
Oh yeah, that's better. It tastes better. It's better flavor and stuff. But like, I just feel like with all the options we have, you get was it El Pato?
Yeah, El Pato, the duck.
You could get that. You could get that. You could get sriracha. I mean, sriracha is pretty king in my opinion. Have you ever made a Bloody Mary without
Yes, I
Tabasco?
have. Oh,
without Tabasco.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys use that really good like.
We use
what did you
aardvark
guys
sauce.
use?
So
Aardvark sauce?
yeah, aardvark. So geez, man, this has become an ad for hot sauces. Aardvark sauce is made in Portland, Oregon. It's amazing. They have a million different flavors, and you can get it on Amazon. But really, aardvark, like the original, is the best.
Yeah,
and it makes
good.
bitchin' Bloody Marys.
I put sriracha in my Bloody Marys actually.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, I just like sriracha, but
Well, it's got
anyway.
it's got garlic in it, so that's nice.
Yeah. I feel like we're getting derailed here. Where were we?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've taken you around the world in this podcast. We've gone from the Ukraine to Sean's poop habits to hot sauces of the world
And ducks.
and ducks that have taken you into the world's currents. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to hear a lot more from our trendsetter and world traveling friend Sean, and we'll look forward to having him on, maybe every podcast. And this is your official invite, by the way, to co-host this show. I know you don't like to rush into decisions, but
But you're just gonna get woken up with a phone call.
yeah. So I guess what we're saying is you can choose to be a part of this podcast willingly, or we're just going to call you at odd hours until you finally cave and answer the phone.
If you guys call me, I'm not gonna not answer.
All right, listen. We've reached the lengthy part of this podcast. We better wrap it up. We're gonna close this out. I'm gonna read a quick fake ad, and we'll get us out of here. Thanks to Sean for so willingly being a part of the show. Thanks to producer Nate for making this all happen. And I'd like to thank our first fake presenting sponsor, Tidy Whitey Streak Free Chonies. I wear them. If Nate wore underwear, he would wear them too. And so should you. Like every guy, I frequently wear underwear. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And when I do, I sure as hell don't want to worry about streaks. If you don't want to worry about attempt to control yourself, trust the people that pay us to trust them the most. Tidy Whitey's streak-free chonies with built-in streak resistance, built for dude asses. And if wearing sub-pant level clothing isn't your thing, check out Uncle Tidy's all-new shave-enhancing man lotion, designed for dudes who don't lotion. And now, the end of the pod. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
For the next one, we have to go off of that. We have to go off of the dude wipes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The dude wipes, like
yeah,
they're yeah. Anyways, till next time.
Until next time. Cheers.
I'm gonna get a bidet.